Welcome to Sens Talk. My name is Brandon and I am your host. I'm wearing the Senegoth jersey today in honor of the Senators' reverse retro jersey announcement. You can see it on the screen here. Ottawa today announced their reverse retro jersey, and I'm paying homage to the reverse retro as the Senegoth makes its comeback officially, but not in a way where I think many of us expected. The 2D logo will still be the primary logo on the front of the jersey, but on the shoulder patches is where the Senegoth will be. Now I have to question, is the Senegoth slowly becoming the favorite to be Ottawa's official third logo, for the third jersey in the future? I mean, just like the O and just like the 2D, they're slowly phasing it in potentially here, so we'll see what happens with that. It's kind of interesting to see how the organization works with the Senegoth moving forward. I do wonder if they try to incorporate it more often. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of these reverse retros, to be honest with you. I mean, they're fine. They're not, disgusting, but they're not as good as they could have been, in my opinion. With the stripes right in the middle, you could have really filled it in there with gold or with white or even with red, just something to give it some more substance, to really give it its own unique style. I mean, right now it kind of looks similar to our home jerseys already. So yeah, overall, I mean, they're fine, but I'm not going to buy one probably. And I kind of think they missed the mark here. They could have done much better. But hey, they're nice jerseys, and, the Senegoth is back. So it's a win-win there, and it's a loss because it's not the best, but it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you like the jerseys, or do you not? Now, as well, before we get into the game recap, I wanted to mention this. Before puck drop, Anna and Olivia Melnick, the daughters of late owner Eugene Melnick, dropped the puck in a wonderful ceremony before the game between Ottawa and Washington today. Well done by the Ottawa Senators organization. Very classy. The organization raised a banner in honor of the late owner to the rafters. I thought that was classy. Philadelphia did it earlier this season, I believe, as well, or last season, I believe, when their owner passed away. It's classy. Well done by the Senators, and it's well by the Senators fan base for giving Melnick and his family a standing round of applause. Now let's get into tonight's game recap. All right, so some pre-game notes before we get into the game recap. Firstly, Ottawa's lineup remains the same after the 7-5 home opener win. That W against the Boston Bruins, an electric game. Ottawa's offense was clicking. It makes no sense to change the lineup. They stick with the same lineup. Forsberg as well starts. There was some questioning earlier today whether or not he would start. In practice, Hellberg was in the starting net, so it did look like Hellberg would get his first start as an Ottawa Senator. And it was just a maintenance day for Anton Forsberg. We should really expect to see a lot of those moving forward, as he's going to get the bulk of the starts until Cam Talbot is back. But Forsberg starts, and for the Capitals, a lot to talk about. Firstly, Connor Brown, the former Ottawa Senator, out long-term, at least 2 months with a lower body injury. We hate to see it. And it really sucks for him because I'm sure he wanted to get into that game. It would have been nice to see, the ceremony they would have put on for him during one of the timeouts. But hopefully he gets back soon. He's healthy and he plays well for the Capitals, and we get to see him in the next time they're in Ottawa. Really tough break for him. Hope he gets better soon. Kuznetsov as well did not play tonight for Washington. Was suspended 1 game for a slash, I believe, against Vancouver the other day. I thought that would have been a 2 or 3 game suspension, but it's a 1 game suspension. But regardless, not in tonight's lineup. And the Capitals still have Alex Ovechkin. So even with all these injuries they have, they're still very competent at scoring. Dylan Strome is doing very well for them. And of course, Ovi is one of the best goal scorers, if not the best goal scorer of all time. So Ottawa has a lot to do tonight to get the W. Let's see if they did it. Let's get into the game recap. So to start off this game, both teams really have nothing going on. In the first 6 minutes, the Sharks are 1-1. Really choppy game. The only real chance for both teams in the first 5 or 6 minutes was Josh Norris hitting the post. Josh Norris, frankly, had his best game of the young season tonight. We'll talk about him later. But a couple minutes after that, shot from Norris that hit the post, somehow you can see on the screen here, Jake Sanderson's call for a trip. Cannot believe this was a call. Soft call, to say the least. The Sens faithful at the CTC did not like this one either. But regardless, Jake Sanderson goes to the penalty box. Moments later, Travis Hamonic flips the puck over the glass. It's going to be a delay of game penalty, and suddenly it's a 5-on-3 power play for Alex Ovechkin and the Washington Capitals, and they strike. No one picks up Oshie on the left hash mark. Johansson from behind the net dishes it out to him. Top shelf. 1-0 Washington. First time this year Ottawa has given up the opening goal of the game. And, a bad call from the refs on Jake Sanderson for the supposed trip leads to a 5-on-3 because Hamonic was rushed and threw it out of play. Now, Mark Mathot, by the way, during the intermission said that puck hit the glass. The refs didn't see it, but regardless, you have to kill off the penalty whether or not it really hit the glass or not, and they don't. 1-0 Capitals. Moments later, Mantha rips one top shelf, 2-0 Capitals, and suddenly the Senators concede back-to-back goals on the penalty kill, and a bad call from the refs really screws over the Senators early, and it's 2-0. Now look, I know what you're thinking to yourself, especially if you're a Washington Capital fan watching this. Look, Brandon, the team still has to kill the penalties, and you're absolutely right. But the momentum shifted so fast, and you guys know this. Momentum is such a dangerous thing if you're on the opposite end of it, and that's exactly what Ottawa was dealing with today. Back-to-back goals for Washington, and suddenly it looks like the Capitals are going to run away with this one. But luckily, we get out of the first period of play, only down by 2. It's a 2-0 game, and you know what? The Capitals took advantage. Look, the Senators have to kill the penalties. If they're given penalties, they didn't. Capitals take advantage. It's 2-0. And the Senators really were chasing the puck quite a bit in that first period of play. And Hamnick, I'll have to be honest with you, looked shaky in that period, really rushing some plays, which led to that second penalty especially. So, tough period overall for Ottawa there, but things are looking up. Because look, 4 minutes into the second period of play, Nick Dowd slams Jake Sanderson into the boards, slow to get up. He's bleeding. He goes to the room. No call on Dowd for the boarding. Now, if you're Capitals fans watching this, I saw some people on Twitter that are Capital fans saying that that was not a penalty. But after that Sanderson trip on TJ Oshie, I would expect that that would definitely be a boarding, because Sanderson was thrown 2 feet into the boards. He was 2 feet away from the boards, slammed right into it. That is a boarding, no doubt about it. No call, though, and that definitely fired up the Ottawa Senators. Travis Hamnick came to the defense right away of Jake Sanderson, got into a fight, so it's a 4-on-4 after that. No penalty, though, on Dowd. So Ottawa and the Capitals get offsetting minors. Somehow Sanderson escapes with an injury. He did return later in the game, but I do not know how the Capitals avoided a penalty there. But it's just the turning point of the game, because after this point, Ottawa woke up and the Senators started clicking offensively, because 2 minutes later, to break out on the power play, finds Tkachuk all alone beside the net. The captain sends a quick pass to Drake Batherson, who rips it top shelf. The power play goal makes it a 2-1 game, and the Ottawa Senators are right back into it. 2 minutes later, the Senators get right back on the power play. The officials are trying to even out the penalties from the first period into the second period. They even it out here. Back-to-back power plays for Ottawa, and back-to-back power play goals for Ottawa as Drake Batherson cleans up the rebound out front. 2-2 game. It's the second of the night off a Thomas Chabot shot. We are tied in Ottawa, baby. The Drake Batherson with the goal. Tie game. Here we go. And a minute later, Josh Norris, he scores his first of the year, but it's waved off. No goal. They review it. No goal. Again, it's confirmed. High sticking as we go into the third period of play with a tie game. Who would have thought? In that first period of play, it looked like the Capitals were going to run away with this game. After the second period, the complete opposite. The Senators looked like they were going to run away with the game. And like I said earlier in this video, momentum is such a dangerous thing. And we saw that in that first period for Washington, and especially in that second period for Ottawa. So look, overall, the refs really evened out the penalties in that second period of play for both teams. The back-to-back power play goals for Ottawa early in the second really shifted the momentum in their favor, and it gave them momentum going into the third period especially. We'll get to that in a second. But the arena was absolutely buzzing in that period, and the attendance was over 14,000 people, much improved compared to last year when they were playing Thursday night games when it was usually 10 to 12,000. Listen, you might think, Brandon, you're being way too optimistic, but this is a clear sign of progress. 10 to 12,000 last year, 14,000 this year. That's 2,000 new fans in the crowd on average, most likely than not. So good crowd overall. I would have liked to see a larger crowd, but it is a good crowd, especially compared to the last few years. And look, back and forth action in that second period of play, but the Senators put on over 15 shots in that period alone. The Senators absolutely changed the pace of the game, frankly, after that Jake Sanderson hit. We go to the third period of play now, and this is where Ottawa just takes over, and they say, you know what, Washington, we are the superior national capital, and we are going to take this game. 6 minutes in, Tyler Mott finds Shane Pinto out front. He sneaks it under Kemper's left armpit, and Pinto Bean, Shane Pinto, gives the Senators the lead for the first time tonight. It's a 3-2 Senators game from Shane Pinto, the Calder Trophy nominee, no doubt about it. This kid is on fire. He's a sneaky Calder Trophy candidate, no doubt about it. Maybe I'm biased there, but I could see this kid scoring 40 points, maybe 50 points this year if he continues to play like that and get some power play time, especially. But moments later, oh my God, watch your screen right now. If you're not, I'll give you a second. Now look at your screen. Look at this stop from Anton Forsberg, potentially a save of the year candidate for the entire National Hockey League. Larceny with the leather. Beautiful glove stop. Anton Forsberg, what a stop. And that's really it. Ottawa just takes care of business. Mott and DeBrincat get their first goals as Ottawa Senators into the empty net as the Senators win it 5-2 over the Washington Capitals. They are now 2-2 on the season. They are now 500, and after a start where a lot of people were calling for DJ Smith to be fired, suddenly the Senators are even. They're 2-2, and there's no doubt that DJ Smith and the Ottawa Senators are starting to get something rolling. Now some notes here from the game. That third line tonight played excellent. Pinto with a goal, Joseph with a point or two. Mott, fantastic game. His best as an Ottawa Senator, no doubt. 6 shots on net. Yeah, 6 shots on net. 2 blocks, and I mean, he had 2 points as well, including that empty net goal. So Mott, fantastic game, but overall the third line, the first 3 games really, did not look the best, but this game dominated. So shout out to the third line. And also DeBrincat and Giroux. I mean, wow, they are so good at finding each other. DeBrincat could have scored 4 or 5 times tonight. Claude Giroux is such a good player. And I think a lot of people that were questioning whether or not Giroux would be able to keep up, his star potential, his star abilities and playmaking abilities here in Ottawa as he gets up there in age. Those naysayers should be put to the side now. They shouldn't be saying anything anymore because Giroux has clearly still got it in him. He's such a fantastic player. So smart with the puck. So there's just some game notes as well. Anton Forsberg, not the busiest night for him, but overall, solid game. Some big stops, especially early on when Ottawa was getting absolutely attacked by Washington. Now, the next Senator game is on Saturday at 4 o'clock Eastern Time versus the Arizona Coyotes. That's a trap game. Ottawa has to win that one to go above 500. It's a must-win. I mean, Montreal even killed the Coyotes tonight. It's a must-win. You have to win that one. We'll see what happens. Early-ish game as well, 4 o'clock. Kind of a weird one on Saturday. I'm sure the boys love that, though. They get to have Saturday night off. Probably get to go out Elgin Street, Byward, or whatever, and have a good time. So, overall, hopefully they get the win there. Get to 3-2 on the year. But overall, for tonight's game, fantastic. Third line looked great. The top 6 continues to play well. Brady Tkachuk, by the way, we'll talk about him, the Sens Stock Star of the night. He had 8 shots tonight. I mean, wow. And the passing abilities between him, Tim Stützle, and Drake Batherson, flawless. So overall, what a night for the Senators, and what a comeback win too. Down early, winning it late. Great game for the Ottawa Senators. Now let's take a look at the Sens Talk Star of the Night, voted by you, the fans. The Sens Talk Star of the Night, voted by you, the fans, is as follows. In 4th place with 4% of the vote, Josh Norris. Look, he didn't score tonight, but I think Norris had easily his best game of the season, no doubt. Right off the bat, had that post. Hit the post a couple of times tonight. Really got open and was really creating plays with DeBrincat and Giroux. So a great game for Josh Norris. 3rd place, 8% of the vote, Brady Tkachuk. 8 shots on goal, like I already mentioned. Great passing abilities. Tkachuk was so strong in the puck, too. I really saw him doing good work around the net. Really holding the puck when he was getting pushed on by the Capital defenders. Tkachuk is so strong in the puck. He's a unicorn player, basically. You don't really see many players like him. And a good game again for the captain. 3rd star. 2nd star, 20% of the vote, Artem Zub. Easily one of his best defensive performances as an Ottawa Senator. And maybe I'll get some heat for that. I don't really care. He looked phenomenal tonight. You heard Zub in the crowd a lot tonight. So, Artem Zub, if you're watching this, get your money soon. Pierre Dorion, sign this man now. We need to keep Artem Zub here as long as possible. Great game for Zub with 20% of the vote. Great game. He is the 2nd star of the night. And the 1st star, your Sens Talk Star of the Night, it's the Drake. Drake Batherson with 68% of the vote with 2 goals tonight. He was no doubt the star of the night for the Ottawa Senators. What a game for the Drake, and what a start to the season for him, as the Ottawa Senators are now 2-2 on the season, looking for the 3rd win in a row on Saturday against the Arizona Coyotes at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. We'll see if they win or not. I probably won't have a video for that one, by the way. Syracuse is playing Clemson. I got a couple buddies coming over. It's a big top 15 matchup between the two. I'm a big Hughes fan. Probably going to watch that one, then maybe go out after. But hey, you know what? There's an off chance I put out a video on Saturday, but there's a good chance I just take Saturday off and enjoy the beginning of my reading week. I had like 4 midterms this week. It was absolutely insane. But we're here. We made it through, and the Senators are winning as well. So it's a win for everyone. And yeah, so probably no video on Saturday, but I'll see you again after that one, more likely than not. Now, besides that, thank you for watching. I appreciate your support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Huge win tonight for the Ottawa Senators as they take down the Washington Capitals 5-2. I'll see you very soon. Go Sens, go.